Today's class is going to be very much based on mindfulness.
Great.
So, and mindful movement.
Right.
But as we have come to standing, I'm just going to very, very gently do a couple of standing poses. So just start by lifting and rolling the shoulders. And then feet apart as you started, just gently sway from side to side.
That's great.
This free-form movement can be low, it can be a little bit. You can lift your heels, these are all options. You can increase the sway by quite a lot. And if you let the hands slap round the shoulders, you're coming into Yantra Yoga, which is a Tibetan form of medicine yoga. And keep doing this because I wanted to just show you what the original Tibetan movement is. And you can, you're welcome to join me, but you might see why I don't do this. The original Tibetan movement is like a swirling dervish where you turn around to the right and sway round. You quickly get dizzy and you could quickly fall over and then just come to standstill. Just slow your sway down. So then just lift and roll your shoulders. And then clasp your hands behind your head and just do the same movement from side to side. Supporting your head, feel that the back of the neck is long. And then just very gently come to slow that movement down. And then lower the hands, lift and roll the shoulders. Raising the right arm, stretch the arm up, turn the head away from the stretched arm. Breathing in, come to the center of your head, and breathing out, lower your right arm. And breathing in, raise your left arm, turn the palm to face inwards. Breathing out, turn your head away from your left arm. Breathing in, come to the center. And breathing out, lower your left arm. Lift and roll the shoulders back. Lift your toes and then just place your toes down, spreading them out a little bit, connecting with the earth. Just gently press your hands into the side of the waist or your hips to lift you up. Release your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders and just clasp your hands gently behind you, aiming the knuckles to the ground. This will lift your chest even further. And then just release. And then taking the pads of your fingers, just gently drop down from the collarbone bones. And there's a little dent where your fingers naturally come to. And just very gently tap here. This strange movement is working on something called the K27 energy points, which is very calming. You'll find this in energy medicine, and you'll find this in something called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, but it's a very useful point to tap, to de-stress.
How long should you do it?
For
Really anxious.
if you're really anxious, there's a whole routine. You can carry on doing it for 10, 20, 30 times, 40 times. There is a whole routine for this, where you can, but this just, we're doing this today. And then just release your hands. Bring your hands to your heart and just dome your fingers together. So this is called Hakini Mudra. It's very good for focus and concentration. So it becomes a slight mindfulness exercise. And the thinking behind this is that the fingertips and hands have a lot of energy points, and the energy would just flow out to the ether, but this, in theory, groups the energy back into the body. And then just release your hands. And we're going to start the mindfulness pose, lying on our backs in corpse or shavasana. We're not going to stay there for very long. But just come to be comfortable. Take any support under your head that you might need. Just let your feet fall out. Your hands can be classically upturned, or they can be turned down, or they can be resting on your abdomen. And we're starting by just turning the head to the left, bringing the head to the centre and turning the head to the right. And again, come to turn your head to the left and turn the head to the right. And breathing in, extend your right foot, your right heel, bending your right elbow, raise your right hand above you. And breathing out, turn your head to the left, away from your outstretched right arm. Breathing in, the head comes back to the centre. And breathing out, lower your right arm and release and relax your right foot. And when you're ready, extend your left heel and raise your left arm. It can be bent at the elbow, stretching your arm out as little or as much as you would like. Turn your head as you breathe out to the right, away from the left arm. Bring your head to the centre. And when you're ready, breathe out and lower your left arm and just relax your left foot. And then extend both heels and raise both arms up above you. Stretch out. It doesn't matter if your hands don't touch the floor. And breathing out, lower both arms and release and relax your legs out to the side. Start to circle both ankles in one direction. You can trace the circle in any way you like. You might like to trace the circle imagining your big toe drawing that circle, but however works for you. And just notice on your circle where you flatten out the circle, you miss little bits. And then reverse the circle, turning your ankles so that your feet, your toes move in the opposite direction. And then just stretch your toes out, opening up the lung meridians as they join, connect underneath where the toes join the feet, and relax your toes. Keep your elbows on the floor, but just lift your hands up to the ceiling and circle your wrists a few times in one direction. And then circle your wrists a few times in the other direction. And then release the hands back down to the earth. Bend both knees, feet are hip width apart, and hands can be either palms down on the floor or resting on your abdomen. Just gently begin to sway both knees from side to side. Your hips can lift off the ground as you sway. You can sway a little bit, or you can sway a lot. And you're massaging across the top of your bottom or the lower part of your sacral area. And you can optionally include your head in this movement, either moving your head towards the direction of the knees or away from the direction of the knees. I'm choosing naturally to move my head away from the direction of the knees. But again, whatever works for you. And then very gently come to bring your knees to the centre. At any time, make any adjustments that you need to with your feet, and keeping your right foot where it is, hugging your left knee into the chest. So this is working on the foundational apana energy, the lower energy that flows from the lower abdomen all the way down the legs, through to the feet and beyond. So just very gently, while you're still holding your left knee, circle your left knee in one direction. And again, you've got an option to choose small circles and perhaps make them slightly larger, but everything is optional. And then very gently reverse the circle. If you've gone up from small to large, you might go from large to small, but however you want to move the circle is up to you. And then very gently supporting your left knee with the left hand, just hold the underneath your left thigh with your right hand and then let your left hand join. So you're clasping your hands under your thigh and very gently raise your left leg up to the ceiling. Your left knee can be bent still. And extend the left heel and point the left toes and repeat that a couple of times. And then gently slide your hands up the back of your left leg, only to go to where it works for you. That might be the middle of your calf, might be a little bit further. And then very gently bend your left knee into your chest and open your left knee out to the left, resting your left foot on top of your right thigh. And then your hands can either be resting on your abdomen or palms down, and just very gently sway both knees from side to side. Again, your hips will lift as you sway from side to side. And you can choose to turn your head from side to side, or keep your head where it is, or just turn your head and look slightly upwards. Again, go with what feels good for you. And then very gently come to the centre with your knees. Hug your left knee into your chest. And then let your left foot come back down with the ground. Just gently sway both knees from side to side. And then keeping your left foot where it is, hug your right knee into your chest. And just very gently circle your right knee in one direction, moving the top of the leg in the hip socket. It's a perfect, very gentle hip movement, exploring the rotational movement. And then when you're ready, very gently reverse that circle. And then hugging the right knee into the chest once more. Bringing your hands to underneath your right thigh. And very gently raising your right leg. You can keep the knee bent up to the ceiling and extend your right heel. Just feel the stretch along the back of the right leg. And then you can start to walk the hands up the back of the right leg, bringing the right leg towards you. Only go as far as you're comfortable with your hands. And then very gently bend the right knee into the chest and open the right knee out to the right, placing and resting the right foot, the right ankle on top of the left thigh bone. And then resting your hands, either palms down on the ground or resting your hands on the abdomen as you gently sway both knees again from side to side. And the hips will lift fractionally off the ground as you roll from side to side. Come back to the centre and supporting your right leg to take your right foot off the left leg. And stretching your legs out into Shavasana again. Imagine a tree pose. So bending up your right leg, your right sole of the foot is looking towards the inside of your left leg. And then breathing out, straighten your right leg. And breathing in, bend up your left leg. And breathing out, straighten your left leg. And repeat this again, bending up your right knee, opening out the right groin, the inner thigh, stretching and releasing the right leg, and then bending the left leg and stretching the left leg out. Just have the toes up to the ceiling and just wave both feet from side to side. It can be small movements, just a slight rocking, side to side, and then release. Then bend up one knee, then the other, and then hug both knees into the chest. And just gently rock from side to side. Your head can travel with the rock, or you can just keep your head where it is. And then gently come to the centre. And we're going to come to kneeling. So come to kneeling however that works for you. You might like to roll onto your right side and stay here, gradually coming up, or you might like to rock up. But come to where it works for you, to come gently onto your hands and knees. And just take a moment to make sure that your hands are shoulder width apart and your knees are hip width apart. Neutral spine, tabletop position, as you gently sway your bottom from side to side. Almost like a dog wagging its tail, with a slightly movement that you can choose how little you wag your tail or not. That side to side movement is not a movement that we make so much, but it can be quite releasing around the diaphragm if you make the movement enough. But then come to stand still, just come to the centre, and just dipping your back, either looking up or along the mat, and breathing out, rounding, chin comes to the chest. Dipping the back, or if you want to stay in neutral more, then that's fine. Choose how little or much you want to dip your back. And then rounding, chin to chest. And then come to neutral and just stretch back your right foot, tucking your right toes under, looking down at the mat, and then place your right knee back down to the floor and stretch out your left leg. Come to neutral tabletop. You can either lift your right arm, or you can come to bend onto your left elbow and then lift your right arm. And then come back with your right arm. And then again, you can lift your left arm, or you can choose to bend and have your right elbow around, lifting your left arm, and then bring your hands back, come back to tabletop. And then rounding the back, bringing the bottom towards the heels. You don't have to come totally to the heels. Round the back forward. And then round, bottom goes towards the heels. And then once more. As we round the back, we're going to come, however this works for you, to standing. So you can come via downward dog, or if that doesn't work for you, come to a standing position, however that works. Walking hands to the feet to the hands. You might want to stay with your knees bent in a forward bend for a moment. And then you may use your hands to trace coming upwards, supporting you as you come up gently and very gradually to a standing position. And lifting and rolling your shoulders. So stepping your left foot forward and your right foot back at a 45-degree angle. And just explore rocking. You can have your hands on the waist, rocking forwards and backwards on your feet. So this asks your legs to do little tiny adjustments to support your weight, and you fully use your feet and perhaps your leg muscles as you don't normally use them. And then come to breathing in, come to cactus arms as you soften your front left leg and drop your weight centrally. And breathing out, lower your arms, straighten your leg. Breathing in, soften your front knee, arms up, drop your weight. And breathing out, lower your arms. And then the third time, as you soften your knee, you can optionally just bring your hands a bit higher and just touch the fingertips. And breathing out, lower your hands. and step your left foot back. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then stepping forward with your right foot, left foot turns out to about 45 degrees. If you find that your balance is wobbling, you can always bring your right foot slightly further out to the right. And perhaps place your hands on your waist as you just rock slightly from the heel to the ball of the foot, lifting the back foot and then back again, just exploring the weight distribution, waking up perhaps muscles that don't normally get used, and then just coming to a comfortable position. And as you breathe in, soften your front right knee this time, cactus arms. Breathing out, lower your arms and straighten your right leg. And breathing in, soften your front right knee. Breathing out, lower your arms. And the third time, optionally, as you raise your arms, you can raise them a little bit higher, touching the fingers together. And then breathing out, lower your arms. And step your right foot back. And then just lift and roll your shoulders. And step now with your feet out in an A shape. And just turn your left foot in. We're going to head towards a warrior two position, your right foot out. And your hands go up. If that's too much, just bend your elbows. And turn to look beyond the third finger of the front hand, in my case, my right hand. Bring your left hand to the right hand. Bend your left elbow, drawing an imaginary bow, bringing your left elbow back. Breathing in, raise your right hand and look to your right thumb, a mindfulness exercise. Lower your right hand and your gaze and open your left arm. Left palm comes to the right palm. Draw your bow by keeping your left elbow high. Breathing in, raise your right hand and look to your right thumb, and then opening the arms out. And last time, left palm to right palm. Bending the left elbow as you draw your imaginary bow, raising the right arm, looking up at the right thumb, and opening the arms out. Warrior two. Drop your arms. Come to turn your right foot in, so as you're back to your A. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then turn your right foot in and your left foot out. So we change sides. Your warrior two, arms out, and look now beyond the third finger of your left extended hand. And then right palm goes to the left palm. Draw your right hand elbow high back. Raise your left arm, look to your left thumb, and open your hands out to warrior two. Right hand to left hand. Draw your imaginary bow, opening you across the shoulders and heart, stretching out, raising your left hand. The eyes look up to the thumb, disconnecting the mind from the stress centers of the brain, becomes a mindfulness exercise, and then open the palms. And one last time, hand to hand, drawing back, raising up, opening out. And then lower your hands, bring your feet in, And then slide your hands down to the inner thighs. Just slightly sway from side to side, bending one knee and then bending the other. And if you want to go a little bit further and you feel okay to do so, you can place your fingertips on the ground or your hands on the ground. You might like to stretch your feet out a little bit further. Again, it's your option, and just slightly sway from side to side. Relax your head and feel the stretch on the inner thigh. Come to the centre. Bring your toes, it's called heel toe your feet in, so toes come in, heels come in. And when you feel that your feet are comfortably hip width apart, bend your knees and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And lift and roll your shoulders. So today's balance, circle your hands, clasp and reverse your hands upwards, and just lift your heels if that's available to you. Well done. And then just very gently lower your heels as you lower your hands. And come to lying on your abdomen in a Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose is lying on your abdomen, elbows on your elbows, looking down at the ground. Adjust your elbows to feel comfortable. The further away from you that your elbow, the further away that your elbows are, the more you will come down to the ground. If you really feel like coming to the ground, you can move away from Sphinx and have your fists one on top of the other, so you're resting your forehead on your hands. But if you want to come to more classic Sphinx, just come to resting on your elbows, looking down. It's classified as a back bend because you're lifting up from the chest. And so it's very uplifting for the mood. It stretches you out at the front of the hip. If you want to wobble your bottom from side to side, it's called SIS in the back program. It's sacroiliac stabilizer. And if you want to further enhance that, you can tuck your right toes underneath the ground, underneath you, extend your right heel back, and then just relax your right leg to the ground, heel out to the side, and jelly wobble. And then you can tuck your left toes underneath you, extend the left heel up to the ceiling, and just push the left leg back. Drop and relax the left leg, and heels out to the side, and just jelly wobble again. And then just very gently we're going to come to child's pose. So slide your hands back. If you don't want to press your hands down, you can roll to the side, bend your knees in and come up. But if you want to come up, come onto your knees. And then just come to whatever form of child's pose works for you. So you don't have to have your bottom to your heels if your knees aren't great. You can have your bottom up more, whatever again works for you. And just take this extended child with your arms out, or classic. Just come, if you don't like your head down so much, then you can make fists with your hands and rest your forehead so that your head and heart are kind of parallel to the ground. Just depends where you are. And just feel the stretch, the focus on the back, perhaps the lower back, letting your body recover from the movement that we've been making.
Notice as you breathe that the breath is encouraged more to the back region. It's like filling a balloon or a paper bag inside you. Lungs expand. And then very gently, we're going to come to a seated position in cobbler's pose. So that is soles of the feet roughly together. The further your feet are away from you, the easier it is. The closer you bring your feet towards you, the more you'll stretch out your groin. So this is a very relaxed cobbler, opening the inner groin, holding just above the ankles, just sitting up. You can bounce your knees if you want to. And you can use your thumbs to massage the inner ankle bone. And your thumbs might go slightly further to massage the inside soles of your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming to sitting up, just place your hands underneath the outside of your thighs to stretch your legs out, and just, if you need to lift the flesh out from underneath your bottom, please do. Heels extend, toes up. Just touch your fingers to either side of you on the mat. And then just slide your hands down your legs, down your outstretched legs. Tummy in, lengthen your back, or have a sense of length in your back, and then just relax forward. And wherever your hands come to on your shins is fine. Just have a couple of breaths here, in and out. A forward bend is always calming to the nervous system. Then you're tucking your chin slightly to your chest. Again, there are degrees. Just choose what feels nice for you. And then sliding your hands up your legs. Turn to your outstretched left leg and slide your hands down. You're turning, aiming your body slightly towards the outstretched left leg. Just coming down. This is a very soft option on Janu Sirsasana. We're not bending the other knee up. Then sliding the hands up the left leg. Just reconnecting perhaps with the earth to lengthen the body, and then turning towards the right outstretched leg as you slide the hands down the right leg. And then sliding the hands up. Just support your legs under the thighs to bring your legs together, legs out in front of you, and cross your left ankle over the right, doesn't really matter. Just touch your fingers to the ground as you sit up, and take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Left hand behind,
Lengthen your body as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, optionally turn to the left. Your head might be the last thing to turn, and you turn as little or as much as you would like. Breathing in, come back to the centre. Bring your hands to either side of you and uncross your left ankle. And then cross your right ankle over your left. Lengthen your body. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Your right hand goes slightly behind you. Lengthen your body as you breathe in, and breathing out, turn to the left, to the right, sorry. And then very gently come back to the centre. Uncross your ankles. You can keep your knees slightly bent if you need to, but just slide forward. A soft coming forward. Slide your hands up the legs. Just place them to either side of you, slightly behind. And just press your hands into the ground as you lift up the chest. You can optionally lift your chin to look up. Just control that you don't let your head flop back, just a little lift of the chin, eyes up. And then come to upright. And then coming to lying on the back. Hugging your knees into the chest. Slightly rocking from side to side. And this time, hugging your knees into your chest as you breathe out. And breathing in, still holding the knees, let the knees drift away from you to arm's length. Hugging the knees in as you breathe out. And breathing in, letting the knees drift away from you to arm's length. And just repeat that a few times in your own breath. Your own breath pattern. You're massaging up and down along the fourth and fifth lumbar vertebra. It's a gentle massage and pulsing. The weight of your body is giving the massage. And then gently finish where you are and release the legs to the ground so the feet are on the ground, the knees are up to the ceiling. And once more, just very gently sway the knees from side to side. The nearest hint of a supine twist. And then
gently bring your knees to the centre and either keep your knees bent or extend your knees out into Shavasana. Choose a position that's comfortable for you. Take support under the head if you need it. Bolster under your knees if you need or would like your knees to be supported. And just bring your attention to your feet. Just slightly tense your feet and release and relax them, letting them fall out to the side. Bring your attention to the knees, just slightly tense the knees and then release them. Bring your attention to your buttocks connecting with the ground, your bottom as you tense and then just release and relax. Physically, just lift your chest slightly away from the mat and consciously reconnect as you release back down to the mat. Just tense your arms and your hands and then just release and relax them. Consciously lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then just as consciously release and relax, lowering the shoulders away from the ears. Just very gently turn the head from side to side. Going across, connecting the back of the skull to the earth. And then take a moment to have a thought for the day, your sankalpa, a wish for yourself or for somebody for the day ahead. And mentally repeat that wish in your mind a couple of times. And then let the wish drift away, the intention's been set. And just bring your attention to the nostrils. And notice the quality of the air as you breathe in. The air is slightly cooler. Follow the air to a point that you imagine to be the centre of your head. And then as you breathe out, let the air travel from the centre of the head all the way down through inside the body, taking with it anything you don't want today, any feeling or niggle, pain or any thought, and just letting it leave through the soles of the feet, going back to the earth. And bring your attention to the nostrils once more, breathing in this fine veil of transparent air to the centre of the head, and letting it drift down as you breathe out, taking anything you don't want today, and letting it leave through the soles of the feet. And one last time, breathing in. And this time choose a colour, any colour that resonates with you today, a veil of coloured air coming in to the centre of the head and then all the way down through, leaving through the soles of the feet. And now wrap your whole body in a cocoon like kind of candy floss of coloured air, like an auric egg wrapping you in colour of your choice, giving you protection for the day ahead. And then very gently come to be aware of where you're lying on the mat. Maybe move fingers or toes. You might like to begin to hug your knees into your chest once more. And just very gently rocking from side to side, no hurry. And then very gently take to roll to the side. If the right side's available to you, it's away from the heart, but know wherever and however you want to come up. Take your time, let the body adjust to the movement having been lying. as you gently and gradually come up to a seated position. I'm going to come to a cross-legged, easy Sukhasana position pose, but you can come to having your legs out in front of you if you would like to. Just touching the hands to the floor once more. Have your legs out by all means if you need to. Just slide your left hand out to the left and bend your right elbow as you once more come to a side bend, chin into the chest. You can even come down to your elbow, just a gentle stretch, pressing your left hand down as you come to upright. And then very gently sliding your fingers out to the right, bending your left elbow, coming over to the right, coming upright. Just walking your hand, your fingertips in front of you, doesn't have to be very far, just a nod to coming forward. As you take an in and an out breath, coming forward. And then walking the hands back, bringing the hands to the heart. Breathing in, opening the fingers out. Breathing out, bringing the hands back to the heart, slightly lower the chin to the chest. Breathing in, fingers out. Breathing out, bringing the hands back to the heart, chin to chest. And breathing in, just opening the hands out. Bringing the fingers back, chin to chest. Take a bow for yourself. Thank you very much for joining me today.